I have to say, this has been the most illuminating 2 years of my entire career.
5 more people have died from malnutrition in the last 24 hours, bringing the total number of deaths from lack of food since the start of the war to 180, including 93 children. Hospital officials say at least another 27 Palestinians were killed seeking aid when Israeli troops opened fire at 2 different locations near aid distribution points in Gaza on Sunday.
And that's because those aid distribution sites are nothing more than death traps for Palestinian civilians. And now Israel has announced its intention to steal the whole of the Gaza Strip while ethnically cleansing the land of Palestinians, which anyone with 2 brain cells to rub together was warning about for well over a year at this point. But we've been gaslit to basically believe that no, most moral military, Israel would never do such a thing. Now they've announced it. According to Dropsite News, senior official in Netanyahu's office says, we are moving to occupy the Strip. The decision has been made. Hamas will not release more hostages without complete surrender, and we will not surrender. If we do not act now, the hostages will die of starvation and Gaza will remain under Hamas control. Now, I want to be clear, Hamas on multiple occasions during ceasefire negotiations has offered to release every single hostage, both living and those who have died. The only sticking point at this point when it came to the ceasefire, by the way, Hamas even gave up on a permanent ceasefire. They were willing to take a temporary ceasefire as long as humanitarian aid flowed into the Gaza Strip. The only sticking point, because Israel kept changing the terms of the deal, was that Israel wanted complete demilitarization of the Gaza Strip. Well, you do that, and what do you think happens? You don't have a country, you don't have a 2-state solution, nothing. Israel comes and takes over. And now they're just saying, yeah, we're just gonna come take over anyway. We're gonna
we don't care about the hostages, we don't care about anything. Self-defense, we a bunch of idiots on American cable news are still saying that for us.
Yeah.
I like how they work for us instead of their own news organizations. Anyways, so this is now declaring we're doing a genocide. Just to back up what Anna's saying about the ceasefire negotiations, Steve Witkoff, Trump's negotiator, said, look, the fundamentals of a deal is the hostages for peace and Israel gets out. And that makes sense, that's very logical. That is supposed to be the essence of it. And Israel goes, no, I want the hostages back. And after a small pause, I'm going to go back to annihilating Gaza.
That's exactly right.
Well, that's not an offer. That's just not an offer. And anyone saying that Israel's not at fault for backing out of those negotiations is lying on behalf of Israel. So you should ask them, why do you keep lying for a foreign government? What a weird thing to do if you work in American media.
Because we're an occupied nation. Let me give you some statements from Israeli government officials and members of the Israeli media, by the way, just to reinforce what I'm saying here. This isn't just some anonymous government official in Israel saying that they're gonna occupy Gaza. So for instance, you have Amit Siegel of Israel Channel 12. He's basically the equivalent of the host for Meet the Press in Israel. He says,
and a right winger, so he has good sources inside the government.
He says, senior official in Netanyahu's office, the decision has been made, we're going to occupy Gaza. Here's another example. Amichai Stein, the diplomatic correspondent for I-24 News, also reported that the prime minister's office briefed this evening that a decision has been made by the PM for a full occupation of the Gaza Strip, including operations in areas where hostages are held, and conveyed a message to the chief of staff. If this does not suit him, you should resign. And by the way, if you take issue with this, as I do, because it's clearly stealing land, engaging in genocide, ethnically cleansing the Palestinian people from Gaza, and you might want to consider joining the BDS movement. Maybe you're successful in convincing lawmakers in your municipality or state to boycott Israel. Well, guess what? The federal government is warning you. We will deprive you of the very resources the taxpayers in your city and state have paid into. So the Federal Emergency Management Agency stated in grant notices posted on Friday that states must follow its terms and conditions. Those conditions require they certify they will not sever commercial relations specifically with Israeli companies to qualify for funding. What funding, you might ask? FEMA funding. So if your city or state has decided to boycott Israel because they take issue with, genocide and the slaughter of innocent people, well, the federal taxes that you pay into, you'll be deprived of if you need it as a result of a natural disaster or any type of emergency.
Yeah.
Okay, that is some of the most disgusting America last garbage I've ever heard in my life. There needs to be a revolt because the fact that we are working hard, paying our taxes, and the federal government is basically telling us, no, we don't like the political cause you're engaging in, so we're gonna deprive you of those resources is unacceptable.
Yeah, we're all Palestinians now. This is the beginning of how it feels to be living under an occupation. But Israel has done an amazing job. Of occupying 330 million people, demanding all of our money, demanding that we support a genocide, demanding that we take money out of our paychecks to go kill over 20,000 innocent children in Gaza and to starve them to death. They're saying you must support our fascist government. You don't have a choice. And by the way, if you boycott it and a hurricane wiped your house out or a tornado did, shut up and serve Israel. If your state dared to criticize or boycott Israel, you American, you're not gonna get your taxpayer dollars. We'll take it from you, and I don't give a goddamn what happened to your house or to your family. You're just a lowly American. We're gonna give it to the almighty Israelis instead, because they haven't murdered enough Palestinians yet. Now, if you're an Israeli and you're catching feelings, I don't give an F. You can go stuff those feelings in a deep hole. Okay,
100%. If your priority is Israel, then I have no interest in even having a conversation with you. My interests, are taking care of the American people with the resources that we provide to the federal government, to federal coffers. The idea that criticism of a foreign country should lead to the deprivation of government services for the American people is so infuriating. And I'd like to ask Israel supporters, what exactly do you think this does in your quest to fight anti-Semitism? Seriously.
You idiots, you're driving anti-Semitism through the roof. You effing morons, you're gonna get people hurt. We're trying to stop you, not because we hate you, but because we think it's not, if you're a friend, you don't go, hey, yeah, let's go into a bar fight with 13 guys that have AK-47s and we'll have nothing. No, pull them out of the bar fight. What are you, nuts? So Israel's genius plan is to starve Palestinian children in front of the whole world.
Yeah.
And then be surprised when they get hated.
To shoot them in the face, to shoot them in the head and the chest, and to just sit idly by and accept it. We have to fund the slaughter, we have to fund the genocide, we have to fund what's happening to those poor kids in Gaza right now. And then on top of it, we have to just shut up. Shut up, you're just a pay pig for Israel, nothing more. The requirement applies to at least $1.9 billion that states rely on to cover search and rescue equipment, emergency manager salaries, and backup power systems, among other expenses, according to 11 agency grant notices reviewed by Reuters. And by the way, if you think that's bad, it's about to get worse. So get a load of this. Under one of the grant notices posted on Friday, FEMA will require major cities to agree to the Israel policy to receive a cut of $553.5 million set aside to prevent terrorism in dense areas.
Unbelievable! How much are they going to rob us? $311 billion at a bare minimum in inflation-adjusted dollars has gone from American citizens working their ass off to barely get by to Israel. When are we gonna get the money back? Now they're using our money to slaughter children and saying, if you complain, anti-Semite, ruin him, destroy him. I don't control America. Oh, the politicians, I bribed 400 out of 435 members of Congress, but don't say anything. If you say anything, you should be fired. You should be arrested. You should be, don't you know Israel controls America? Oh, no. We don't control America. We don't control America. But if you dare criticize us all of your money should be taken away, you should be fired, and if you're on a college campus, arrested, denaturalized, deported. But we don't control America. We are the #1 donors to Joe Biden throughout his career. We're the #1 donors to Donald Trump throughout his career. We're the #1 donors to 100% of Republican leadership in Congress, the #1 donors to 75% of Democratic leadership in Congress, the #1 donors in this election cycle to members of Congress. But we will get every lying moron in cable news to tell you, you can't say Israel controls America. That is very, very offensive. Murder those children right in front of our eyes, not offensive. Not offensive. Give me your goddamn money. Israel hasn't murdered enough children yet. Give me your goddamn money, okay? But I'm offended. I'm offended that you're using my money to murder children with a sick genocidal government. Now, by the way, it's over, guys. They just said they're gonna occupy all of Gaza. We shared that with you in the beginning. So that is them saying, yes, we had genocidal intent all along. When Netanyahu brought the Greater Israel map to the UN and said, this is what I'm gonna do. And he's doing it now.
Yep.
From the river to the sea. Netanyahu also said that. He's like, if anyone says from the river to the sea to the Israelis, they should be murdered, they are terrorists. And then he turned around the next speech, he's like, Israel should do from the river to the sea. And then he's doing it. He's doing it right in front of our eyes and with our goddamn money.
Well, Israel's the only country.
You're offended? F your offense. F your offense. I don't care if you're a sick enough person to be more offended at criticism of your goddamn beloved Israel, but you're not offended at all those starving children. There's something depraved inside your soul.
I'm an American, why would I care about Israel? Why would I, as an American citizen, give a damn about Israel?
Okay.
Why is that required? Why is that mandatory in the United States? Could it be because we are an occupied nation? We're not a sovereign country. Every other issue we talk about on this show, Cenk, doesn't even matter.
Because it's not our country.
You want to talk about tax policy? You want to talk about tax policy with me right now? Okay, I'm at a point where I don't want to pay a single dollar to the federal government. I don't trust the federal government. The fact that they're holding federal money hostage and depriving our fellow American citizens of the resources they're entitled to is infuriating.
Okay, so on TYT.com we asked this question. What was Israel's plan in Gaza? A, self-defense all along. Did anybody answer that? Good, 0%. Obviously, you'd have to be a moron to answer that, especially after they told you, yeah, well, you did it to steal Gaza. They just said it. All right, number B, that's funny. Self-defense in the beginning, but ethnic cleansing now, 20% say that. Ethnic cleansing to take over Gaza all along. Oh, look at that, 80%. But look, it just got started in the voting, so that doesn't really matter. You can go vote now, and I'm curious how you guys are gonna vote going forward. That's just the initial couple of votes. All right, look, guys, the reason we asked that question is, are we still having this conversation? Is there anyone still pretending that this is about self-defense? We're literally 2 years from October 7th, 2023. They have 20 hostages. They kill 20, 40, 100 people a day. They did it again in the last 48 hours, killed over 100 people, great number of them children. So what we're supposed to care about, the 20 Israelis, more than 20,000 Palestinian children, 61,000 Palestinians overall at a bare minimum. But they say that with a straight face, like we are the superior people. So our people are worth their weight in gold. They're worth 10,000 of your people. So we're slaughtering because we care about the lives of the 20. Well, why don't you care about the lives of the 61,000 or the 2.2 million that you've now absolutely devastated their lives?
Have you not heard the way they talk about them, Cenk? They don't even see them as human.
Yeah.
They don't see Palestinians as human. There are so many videos of powerful people in Israel just openly saying, yeah, those children should starve to death. Yeah. I'm not even kidding. Rabbis, government officials. I mean, it goes on and on. It's just hilarious to me, right? Because they say it out loud, they say it with their whole chest, and then here in the context of the United States, they send their little mouthpiece propagandists like Shabbos Kestenbaum to go on Piers Morgan and just lie straight to our faces about what's happening on the ground in Gaza. Okay. As if we're idiots and we don't see it, we don't hear it. It's all in front of us every single day.
So we just had a vote just 2 weeks ago, $500 million more to Israel. Give me your money, give me your money. This is a stick up, okay? Well, and so they say, oh no, it's for defense, it's for Iron Dome. Then you look into it, 60 million is for Iron Dome, 440 million is for other missiles. I mean, everything Israel says is a lie, and everything our lying politicians say is done on behalf of Israel, okay? So they took money out of our paychecks, again, just like 10 days ago. to send another $500 million to murder more Palestinians. As the Israeli government proudly announces now, we're gonna occupy all of Gaza. We were gonna take the land all along, you idiots, you schmucks. Send me more money, all your politicians are mine. Wait, that's not fair. It was probably a close vote. I mean, in the middle of a genocide. Can you imagine if we sent the Nazis money in the middle of the Holocaust? $500 million, and we said, no, it's okay. We're just giving it to the Nazis defensive purposes, to protect the German people. We're not giving it to them for the Holocaust that they're doing. We're giving it for defense of Germany. I mean, I hope to God that you would be morally outraged by that. If we gave the Ottoman Empire in the middle of the Armenian genocide $500 million to kill more Armenians, we said, no, it's for Turkish defense. Everybody would have found it absolutely absurd. But as Israel does it, they're like, no, not absurd. So what the vote was the vote close? 422 to 6.
Disgusting.
To send more money to kill more Palestinians. So all the Republicans except 2, all the Democrats except 4. You're telling me we're not occupied? You're telling me we're not occupied. You're telling me that AIPAC and Israeli lobby does not control Congress? If you're saying that, you're not a journalist, you're a liar. And you have to look into yourself as to why you're choosing to lie on behalf of a foreign government. Oh, well, people will take offense. Well, people take offense at all the slaughter of the innocent children in Gaza. People take offense at the starvation of an entire population, but you don't care about that. All you care about is whether someone offends Israel. So are you a journalist? Is there a single journalist at the New York Times or Washington Post or cable news at all? No, all dogs of Israel going, oh no, you can't say they control our Congress. It was only 422 to 6. And okay, what are the 6? Tom Massey, you know what's happening? $2 million already against him a year and a half before the election. A year and a half. $1 million from Paul Singer, massively pro-Israel. $750,000 from Miriam Adelson. $250,000 from John Paulson. So pro-Israel supporters in America saying, how dare you defy Israel? Tom Massey will be canceled. Well, I don't control Congress. I just buy every seat. And if anyone dares to criticize my real country, Israel, yeah, I said it. I mean, imagine if a bunch of traitors come in here and go, all right, everybody now works for Turkey. Okay, shut up and work for Turkey. Here's money that I give you just to represent that foreign government. And then you go, shh, you're not allowed to say it. You would offend the Turks. No one would believe any of this crap propaganda if it doesn't come with the magical word Israel in it. So yes, we're totally, utterly occupied. Israel runs this government, not America. And by the way, so the Republicans are corrupt. Oh wow, color me surprised. Those dog Democrats running around, I'm a little worried about Gaza.
Yeah.
And then, here, take your goddamn money, give it to Israel, give it to Israel. It's for defense. Guys, shut up. Okay, so last thing is, Knuckle Dragon, one of our members on TYT.com said, midterms should be about stopping Israel and Trump from causing any more suffering. If a genocide is not good enough reason to vote, I don't know what is.
But vote for what? Vote for what?
No. So great question and why I brought it up, Anna.
All pathetic cowards who spend all their time filleting a terrorist regime in a foreign country. That's what we have in terms of candidates. Okay, you want to know why they hate Zoran Mamdani so much? Because he had the gall to say out loud that he wants to represent the people in New York City as opposed to a foreign government.
How dare you? You must visit Israel first.
They call him a jihadist because he actually wants to represent Americans instead of Israelis. I have to say, this has been the most illuminating 2 years of my entire career. Because everything we've been talking about, everything that gets debated policy-wise in this country does not matter. How much you pay in taxes doesn't matter. How are you gonna pay taxes to a federal government who's gonna deprive you of resources when you desperately need it because you don't agree with a genocide in a foreign country? Soon
our children will be starving because we send all our money to Israel. When are we getting the 311 billion back? Why do we owe them? They say, well, it's for defense. But why do we owe them for their defense?
Because we likely have a bunch of pedophiles running the government.
Do we owe defense to Malaysia? Do we owe defense to Canada? Why do we owe Israel, who is a nuclear armed country and has the only country that has Iron Dome? There's no country better protected than Israel. You owe them, Americans. If you don't take your money and give it to Israel, you're a hateful person. You hate Jews. I don't hate, are you insane? I don't hate Jews. What does that have to do with me giving my money to a genocidal, maniacal government? No. So it's all a trick. Oh, if anyone defending Israel right now use the word anti-Semite, what that means is they despise Muslims and Palestinians and Arabs. They're deeply racist bigots who think that Palestinian lives don't matter at all. The only lives that matter are the supreme people, the Ubermensch, the Israelis.
Look, they're garbage people. They are providing cover for the slaughter of innocent people, including innocent, defenseless children.
Okay.
You can call me whatever you want, okay?
Yeah,
I couldn't think less of you. We got to take a break.
No, I got to tell you one last thing. So you asked, what's the point of voting? Guys, this is super important. You got to vote in the primaries. And if you vote because by the time you get to the general election, it's AIPAC clown robot #1 versus AIPAC clown robot #2. Go into the primaries, and if anyone takes a dime from AIPAC, vote against them, period. It's blood money for genocide. So politicians are so sick and disgusting in America that they're like, oh, you'd like to murder an entire population and starve them to death. Well, do you have money for me? Oh, you have money. Okay, I will take the money and I will serve Israel. Anyone who takes AIPAC money or Israeli lobby is not serving America. They are clearly serving another country. So if you vote for them, you ought to have your head examined. Anyone who votes for money, votes for someone who takes money from the Israeli lobby is saying we should serve Israel, not America. Period and obvious. Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.